Welcome everyone. This is the last session on Thursday of LocalGov Drupal Week. Thank you very much for coming. This session is on Hammersmith and Fulham's new website, which has just launched this week, rather fortuitously. Good timing. And your hosts are going to be Ryan from Hammersmith and Fulham and Justine and Rupert from Chicken. Before we start, I want to take an opportunity to thank our event sponsor, Home Connections. They're owned and led by local authorities and housing associations. They're a social purpose company supporting a fairer housing sector. Thanks also to our council and supplier subscribers and our supporting partner, Netcall. Thank you all so much. Without your support, we would not be able to do things like this, so much appreciated. In terms of using Zoom, just in case you're not aware, there are options to change how you might view the meeting. There's a view button, should be top right, so you can change it to speaker or gallery depending on your preference. But that will also depend on what's happening in terms of screen sharing. Over to Ryan, Justine, and Rupert. Have fun.
Thank you, Aaron, and hi everyone. Thank you for attending this session today. I will just share my video briefly so you can see me. I am a real person. Yeah, just not feeling quite 100% today. As Aaron said, we launched our new website last night, so we were up quite late, just doing some minor changes. So yeah, I think I'm going to go to sleep straight after this session. I just wanted to say hi. So yeah, I can see the room is filling up. It's a really good turnout. So again, thank you everyone. It's good to see a mix of familiar and unknown faces and names in the audience. To be honest, it's a bit surreal doing a session like this. If you'd asked me 3 years ago when we got sign off to use LGD, if I thought I'd be doing a session to show off our website, I think my answer would have been no, no way. And that's because, yeah, I just didn't see us contributing back any new features to LocalGov Drupal at all. And I'll get onto that in a second. But yeah, I'm just going to share my screen. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I didn't really see us contributing anything back, only taking what others had produced. But I'm really excited with what we're doing and hope you guys feel the same way and can see the value in us sharing some of this stuff back. So first I'll talk a bit about H&F's LocalGov Drupal journey, and then I'll get into some of the features that we've built. So I've worked at H&F since March 2019 and have pretty much led on the development of the new website and working with Justine and Rupert at Chicken to do that. So H&F has been using Drupal since 2016, starting out on Drupal 7. And I'm happy to say that, yeah, we stopped using that website last night. The Drupal 7 site lacked flexibility and the functionality was quite limited as well. So we often spent quite a lot of time on workarounds to present content in the ways that we needed. And like many other councils, we don't have internal developers or a dedicated development budget, hence my sentiment earlier. And so the website never really improved much after it was launched. And with all of this combined, just really hindered our ability to meet business and user needs. But the reason why I'm here today is that we were very fortunate to get additional funding from services and programs going on around the council, which allowed us to realize the aims and the objectives we set out for the website. And this came after a discovery that Justine held with my team, the web team, but also communications and customer services. And these website aims were to continue to promote the good work we do and what's going on in the borough and improve on this, especially on the homepage, to be flexible enough so that different content types and components can be used and displayed in different places around the site, to foster an experience which encourages self-service, and to be an attractive proposition for service teams so that they don't need to create a microsite. And I don't mean a LocalGov Drupal microsite, but a third-party microsite using WordPress or something, or to put content in a PDF. And all the while just ensuring that everything we do is accessible to our users. Says this is only a 45-minute session. I've picked out the features that I think people will be most interested in, but I would like to give a honorable mention to the timeline feature that we've built. So we developed this feature for our celebrating H&F content, and celebrating H&F is a project to showcase H&F's history and diversity. And this does include some literal timelines of events or people connected to H&F. So if you can, has my screen changed to the website? Just checking.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so here's an example of Britain's Black History timeline. And as you can see on this timeline, you can put a date in on the left-hand side, or actually you can put any text in on that side of the line. But you can also add images and text for the main content. But the great thing about this feature is that we've been able to use the timeline to present content that was originally designed in like a journey map fashion. And these were done as images. So by being able to use the timeline, we've made the content more accessible. And Justine will share the links to this page and some other examples of where we've used the timeline as well. So if there is interest in the timeline, let us know in the chat. So with the features that I'm going to run through now, we will be running a poll at the end of the session to gauge interest as to which one you would most like to see us give back to LocalGov Drupal. As I said earlier, I never thought that we would be in a position to share anything back. But I was also in the back of my head that if we did have anything, then we should definitely do it. As LocalGov Drupal has given us so much, we should contribute back and let other councils, just use this the stuff that we've built as well. So the first feature I'm going to talk about now is subsites. So if you're an old school LocalGov Drupal head, then you know that subsites aren't anything new. In fact, they started out as the campaign content type, which you can see on the left, and then evolved into subsites. And if you're not familiar with subsites, these are sections of a LocalGov Drupal site that have a different color theme to the rest of the website and their own menu navigation. Subsites are really good for services and other content that need a different look and feel, but maybe don't meet the requirements of having a microsite or might otherwise be a glossy PDF. However, the out-of-the-box version of subsites is limited in that only a basic page can be used in a subsite. So guides, directories, and step-by-step pages can't be used. So what we've done is to re-engineer the subsite homepage so that any page or any template can appear in a subsite if it is added to do its menu structure. And these pages and the components that are used within them will then inherit the color scheme and subsite navigation. So I'm just going to switch over to our website. And this is a subsite that we've done for our cost of living hub. So this subsite is using the teal theme, and you can see here that the name of the section is displayed above the subsite menu navigation and acts as a home link for this section. And if I scroll down, you can see, where is it? Yeah, that the featured teaser also incorporates or inherits rather the background color from the theme, as does the footer as well. So this is all within our main LocalGov Drupal website, just has a different colored theme. So if I go to improve your energy efficiency, you'll see that this is a guide. And if I click on any of the other guide pages, you'll see that it's all within the cost of living subsite section. If I go to help with paying bills, this is a service landing page. And if I go to benefits and money advice, this is just a normal service page. So I'll show you how it works just after this. And yeah, this is a directory page on our adults living independently website. And again, you can see the living independently subsite branding, but the directory is a part of it. So in terms of how you put a subsite together, so you create the subsite homepage, and when it comes to choosing the color, it's just a drop down. So at the moment, as you can see, it's the teal theme, but if I pick pink and click on save, the whole color theme changes, as does the featured teaser and the footer as well. And I really am dying to try and create a site which utilizes the pink theme. Hopefully I'll get there one day. But yeah, obviously you can create any combination of colors for the theme. So you could have a really long list to pick from moving forward. So if I just come out of here. So in terms of adding a page into a subsite, I'm just going to go to our council tax section, and then I will go to paying your council tax. So let's say I just wanted to add this page to the cost of living subsite. I click on edit. I come over to the right-hand side. I open menu settings. I switch on provider menu link. And then in the parent link field, I find cost of living. And if I want to link it so that cost of living is the parent page to this page, I will select that, or I can select any other child page of cost of living, and the theme will be inherited. So I'm on our test site, should have said that before. So it's okay for me to do this. And as you can see now, the cost of living subsite theme has been applied to this page. You'll also notice that paying your council tax has also been added to the menu. If I don't want to show that link in the menu, I can go to structure, menus, and then main navigation. I can find cost of living section, and then all I need to do is untick that and click save. And when you are in this main navigation section, you can also add links to the subsite menu to other internal pages or even external pages. So if I just click save and then go back, you'll see that paying your council tax is now not in the menu, but it's still a part of the subsite. And you can see here, if I click on finding a job, it takes me to the jobs page, and this doesn't have the Subsite branding. So there is a lot of flexibility here. So Justine is going to share with you all of the, she's going to share with you links to all of the subsites that we've created so far. So if this is something you'd like to see back in LocalGov Drupal, yeah, do vote for it at the end. So the next set of features I want to talk about and show are the created teaser and new layouts we've added, which came around during the scoping of our new homepage. So some of you may already know the history and struggles of our old and new homepages, but essentially the brief for the homepage has always been that it should focus on news, as we don't have any local press in Hammersmith and Fulham, and we need to fill that gap. Plus, it was also felt that there should be lots of news on the homepage, as this would make our website sticky and encourage people back for non-service content. So our homepage on Drupal 7 was very odd and unique for a local authority, in that it was built to display just news stories. The only service content, the only way we could get service content on the page was down the right-hand side. So yeah, you can see we've got quick links and then a link to our annual report. And then the other thing you'll notice as well is that the page is structured into columns rather than rows as well. And so for our new website, I was able to persuade the powers that be against doing this again. But in return, I had to come up with a design that resembled something like timeout, which is what I did. And it was during this time that Justine came up with the amazing idea of using just one teaser component that could fit into whatever layout we used, and to create layouts that could be nested into other layouts. So this is our new homepage. And if I scroll down, every teaser on the homepage, with the exception of most read news, is using the created teaser. So regardless of the size, it all is the same teaser being used, or teaser component. And because a created teaser can be used in any layout, it means that we don't have to recreate any of these items using another component. If the communications team want to move a story to somewhere else, we can just drag and drop it into place. So if I just scroll back up, you can see here with this row of 4 video links that is similar to what Timeout do. And this section here of 5 news stories is similar to what the BBC does, with a big teaser next to small ones. So if I just go into the edit screen. So yeah, the created teaser, if I open up this main one, yeah, the created teaser is really flexible in that only the link field is mandatory, and we can link to any internal page or external site using this teaser, which obviously, yeah, is a change from the old website and enables us to promote service pages on the home page more easily. The other thing we've done, and this is a carryover from our Drupal 7 site, is that when the publish date, so if I scroll down, is read out to screen reader users, it will say publish date 15th of November 2023. And that's because we've added hidden text off screen for publish date. And the same thing happens with event location as well. And moving forward, I would like to add a separate date picker for events so that when the event date is read out, it will say event date 20th of December or something like that. And with the add play icon switcher, this adds the play overlay on top of the teaser image, like what I've just shown you. But it's just occurred to me during the time that I was putting this presentation together that we never added video as hidden text when the icon is added. So that's one for our backlog as well. So with the layouts in the page section, we have added 4 new ones. So you can see here we've got 2/3, 1/3, where the left column is 2/3 of the page width. But with this one, it's the opposite way round, with the left column being 1/3 and the right side being 2/3. We have a square block of 4, and then we have the row of 4 as well. So with the square block of 4, if I just scroll down, this works by nesting the layout within a 2-column layout, but it can also be put into a 1-column layout as well to create a mini row of 2. And because we're not using it on the website, I've done a screenshot to show you. Oops, sorry if you can hear that. I'm not sure what's dropped outside. And yeah, this layout allows me to mimic timeout with one of their patterns. And this layout will be useful for us when we have several related things we want to promote, all like in the same space. So something like Christmas events or Black History Month would work really well for this. So again, if you like the creator teasers and the layouts, vote for it at the end. But the next thing I want to talk about are images. So when the accessibility regulations came into force and we'd got our audit done, I was the one who took responsibility to go through the reports and understand the issues and work on our remediation plan. And through this, not only did I increase my knowledge around accessibility, but I began to experiment in the ways that we produced content. And I think images was probably the one that I worked on the most. So as the web team, my team are based in communications. Our website is very visual and we use images a lot in our news stories. And Justine has a link of a news story that we've published this week where you can, see that in action. But it's not just images as well that we use a lot. It's captions as captions too. But in the past, there was a tendency to have a caption and no alt text, or to duplicate the caption and the alt text, or to put in just a very basic description as the alt text. And as we all know, or should know, the alt text should be contextual to how the image is being used at the time. So one of the things I did on our old site was to try out a method I'd seen being discussed in a forum about putting image 1 or image 2 in the alt text and then starting the caption with that same text, so that screen reader users would know, okay, this is image 1, and then when they get to the caption, this caption relates to that image. And this just meant that we wouldn't need to duplicate any of the description text as the caption text. However, as time went on, it became problematic where the flow of numbering was broken up by an image that we had deemed to be decorative. And also our comms managers didn't like this approach very much. So moving forward, and thinking about what we were going to do on the new website, it was important that we had the right logic in place to present images to assistive technologies, but also do something that our comms managers would like. So on our Drupal 7 site, we could already overwrite alt text on an image and make it contextual each time the image was used. But I wanted to go further than this. So using the experience and knowledge, that I had gained on our accessibility journey, I wrote out scenarios that would be used as the basis for how alt text and captions worked with each other, but would also be displayed. So those scenarios, sorry about that. So those scenarios are what you see now on the screen. So alt text is not mandatory. So by default, when you upload an image to LocalGov Drupal, you have to add alt text. So what we did was to turn this requirement off. And this meant that we could leave the alt text blank and images could be marked as decorative and be ignored by screen readers. And with display alt text as caption text, if an image only has alt text, we put in the option as to whether or not it should be displayed as the caption text as well. And this just means that it's always available to all users and isn't duplicated for screen readers. But at the same time, we can still have different alt text and caption text in situations where we need to be descriptive about the image in the alt text. But then with the caption, we can use that to write something about the context in which the image is being used, or just something non-related. The next logic we implemented was that you can never have caption text without alt text. So what happens here is that if no alt text has been added to the image, then by default it is decorative. And so no caption text will be displayed next to the image, even if the field is filled in. And this is because we didn't want to confuse screen reader users. However, if there is an image credit, then this will be displayed, but the text will be hidden from screen reader users, again, just so not to cause confusion. However, when Maria, who I think is on this call, from Agile Collective, was doing testing on all of these different scenarios earlier on in the year, she did raise a question with this particular one as to whether or not this, the hiding of the image credit from screen readers might cause confusion. Obviously, some screen reader users do have sites, might be cited, and so they may be confused if they could see the image credit, but it wasn't being announced to them. So that's something we still need to look into. But if you want to test out these different scenarios with a screen reader, we do have a page, a test page of images for you to do that, which Justine will share now. So the last set of features that I want to share are our family information directory and Ofsted feed integration. So like most councils, we used a third-party product for our family information service, the family information directory, and send local offer. And this platform also consumed the Ofsted FIDI feed as well. And FIDI just stands for Family Information Directory. The feed, if you're not familiar with it, is used to provide children's services with an up-to-date with up-to-date information about childcare providers in the borough and details about Ofsted inspections for the Family Information Directory. But as with most of these types of sites, over time, they became unwieldy, hard to use, and hard to find anything, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to. And so a decision was made that we were going to decommission these sites and move the content and the directory back to the main H&F website. And this decision was largely informed by a lot of research and conversations that we had with Buckinghamshire Council, as they had previously gone through this journey with FutureGov, who are now TPX Impact, and together they developed Outpost. And this is the platform which Alex from Greenwich did a brilliant session on Tuesday. So if you haven't seen it, do look out for it on YouTube when all of the recordings are uploaded. We didn't use Outpost in the end, as it uses a different programming language to Drupal, but there was a component to Outpost that we were intending to use, which was a module to convert the Ofsted feed from SOAP to JSON. I believe it's that way around. And as I said, yeah, we were originally going to use it, but then Ofsted updated their API to JSON anyway over the summer just gone, which made it a lot easier for us to connect to the feed. So I'm just going to head back to the website and start with the Ofsted feed. So the feed is updated daily and goes into a separate database from Drupal, but obviously we surface it in the back end. And yeah, when the feed is updated daily, it presents changes to the provider details. So it's always like an extract of the feed and it just comes up with the changes. And so on this screen, the pending updates view, we can see records which have been updated or are new to the feed. So if I open up this record, so yeah, this is a record with changes, and you can see that the current and new version of the record are shown side by side with fields that have been changed highlighted in green. This particular record is linked to a directory page in the Family Information Directory. And this link just allows officers to jump over to the record so that they can make updates if necessary. The connection or the link between the two records also allows us to display information from the Ofsted feed. So at the moment, the only thing that we are reusing is the Ofsted inspection, which you can see here. And if I just head back to the Ofsted record, you can see that, yeah, the inspection details are here. So that's what's being pulled in. In the future, we may pull in the contact details directly and also the setting address as well for where the provider carries out their childcare. But for now, we're just keeping this manual to see how it works for the officers who will be using this. And although we do have an accept updates button, it is more of an acknowledgement, as Ofsted records can't be changed. So clicking on this button will just remove the current record information and replace it with the new data. And we will be adding a like a change log so that officers can see all of the changes that have happened to a record. Whoops. Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, just coming back to the dashboard. So we also have a view to see all records. And then we also have a view to see archived records. And if you're thinking something is missing, but can't quite put your finger on it, then it is the search and filtering options, which we will be adding in the coming weeks. And this last link will take officers to the directory pages. So we've created a specific template for the children's directory, and it does feature a lot of fields and functionality that we had on our old platform. Just waiting for it to load up, such as being able to hide parts of the address. And this is useful for when the setting is a childminder's home. So we can hide the street level locations, but show on map, hide the full location and don't show in map, and then just completely hide the address, yeah, from the website as well. Just gonna go to the directory homepage. So yeah, the FIS directory homepage is being powered by OpenSearch, which we also use for our internal site search as well. And this is a AWS product, but we also use OpenSearch to power the homepage for our news stories and blogs as well. And this was because we wanted to add other facets that weren't available through the default directory channels and newsroom templates. So for example, if I click on information for families, I then get a subset of filters that I can use, and I can combine these with the other filters here as well. And just to say as well that the family information directory on our website does cater for both FIS and the send local offer as well. So again, if I just untick information for families, you'll see that, yeah, I can filter on providers that are part of the send local offer, and we do have a badge for that as well. So what's in our backlog, and what stuff do we want to do moving forward? So something I'd like to tackle is WYSIWYG styles and turning those into components. This is mainly with the block and text styles. So being able to turn a link or style a link as a button, or add call out, sorry, not call out, yeah, call out boxes and quotes and those type of things. Obviously, some of this stuff is available as components that you can drop in, but I think there's more that we can do. I find the WYSIWYG styles to be quite limiting, whereas if they were in a component, we'd obviously have more choice and flexibility to do things, especially when it comes to making content more engaging. With easy read features, we do produce quite a lot of easy read content. And so we've had discussions about upgrading the media with text component so that we can add multiple blocks in one go, as you can do with accordions, but also have a switcher of some kind to increase the font size. I know Bracknell Forest Council have a component in place already for easy read content. So it might just be the case that they can share back what they've done and we don't have to do anything, but I still thought it was worth mentioning. And then we have event channels and news and event views. If Will is on the call, I'll let him talk about event channels. But with news and events views, this is so we can show a specific category of events or news on pages across the site. So an example of this might be if we wanted to display events taking place at Hammersmith Library on the Hammersmith Library page, and to do the same with news around a campaign topic. Will, if you're here, do you want to speak about event channels? or Justine and Rupert?
He is not here, so maybe just
Okay.
cover that.
I can cover it. I think for event channels, so the reason Ryan asked if Will was here is because the lovely Essex and us, we're going to kind of at least start coming up with a plan for things, and kind of throw it out there for a working group to do. So there's some days booked towards doing this. So if anyone else kind of like feels the same and wants to kind of get involved with that working group and to kind of kick off events channels and events focused things, especially like date formats and stuff and recurring events, come on, let us know, because I think that'll be the next working group we kind of like get kicked off, really. Will is begging nicely and we are saying yes, so come along and join us.
You want to explain event channels though, or shall I go for it?
Yeah, you can go for it, but I don't really know. Yeah.
So the general idea there is that instead of having one big events page, Ryan would like to be able to have multiple events pages because, for instance, Hammersmith and Fulham have libraries that have loads and loads of events, and you don't want like the general events page swamped with like all the events from the libraries. So like we'd have like an events page per library, and then a general sort of general events. Ryan can think of the actual examples that we want at this point, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, as most councils, council event calendars tend to be, is that they do get, as Rupert said, they do get swamped with libraries events. So what we're thinking is that you have an events calendar just for libraries. You may then have one specifically for children's, like children's centres, and then another one for general events. So if you're familiar with directory channels in LocalGov Drupal, it's essentially working like that, where you can just spin up a calendar for a particular thing and just show events in there, but at the same time be able to show events in different calendars as well. So you may have a Black History Month event taking place in a library, but you also want to show it in your general library as well. Sorry, I say library, in your general events calendar as well. Yeah, Justine, do you want to throw up the poll?
Oh, that is for Aaron to do. He's
That is my job, right?
poll
Yes.
master.
So, and we're just coming to the end. So let's run this poll.
There have been a few questions whilst the poll's going on. People can click and talk. So Stella asked,
sorry, Justine, do you want to just say what the poll is?
Yeah, so the poll that's popping up for everyone is just all the things that Ryan has spoken about, and which one do you want the most? If we've got the time to contribute it back, or we can get some funding to do so, then what is it that you want? What's the most important out of all of these things that we've spoken about? Because Ryan considers them all to be quite life-changing for him. Do others feel the same? It's pretty even keel at the moment. Oh.
Exciting. Okay, we'll let that run for a while. Then yeah, there are questions on there.
Yeah. So I think there's one for you, Rue, from Stella, asking about any particular reason for choosing OpenSearch rather than Apache Solar, because that's popular in Drupal land, and was it just because we were using it already?
Solar is more popular in Drupal land, but outside it kind of isn't. I think OpenSearch or Elasticsearch has the edge outside of Drupal. But yeah, H&F weren't using it already. I have a lot more experience using Elasticsearch than I do Solar. And we did have to do a bit of custom work to make so basically we've had the Drupal 9 site running in the background for a really long time now as beta.lbhf.gov.uk. And we had a custom module to index all the Drupal 7 content while we still have both sites running in parallel into the search index. So it meant that we'd have one search, giving you the content from both sites. So we had to do a bit of custom work on that, and doing that on OpenSearch, was a lot easier than doing it on Solar for me. But in terms of parity and feature parity and running costs, they're pretty similar. So yeah, the advice that I've read for choosing between the two is go with the one that you'd prefer to use, and In our case, that was OpenSearch. That's it.
Cool. Ryan, there's another question for you quickly. Ben asks, well, he's wondering like about the homepage, how well is it tested with residents? Now, I know it went live this morning or last night, so there's probably not been much testing out there, but we did a bit before. What feedback have we had about all the news on the homepage, and how the residents managed to come into the site, managed to look for the services and tasks they need to do?
So I'm pretty sure no one from H&F who's like important will see this video, so I'll just be frank. So yeah, the homepage from on the old website was pretty much designed by the leader of the council. There was no involvement of residents and all the rest of it, and so we had to follow that same process on the new website. Our intention was to have more service links on there, and when we showed it to him, he didn't like it, is what I would say. And we were told to stick to the original brief and make it as newsy as possible and to follow timeout specifically. So that's what we've done. But as I said, that's why in designing the homepage, we did want to make it more flexible than what we had, so that even though it was going to be news focused, we could still use those teasers to link directly to service pages. And it is hoped, that we might be able to do that moving forward. I'm not too hopeful, but at least we've given ourselves like the right tools to be able to do that if we can.
Exactly. And then one last question. Annan asks, when you say turn WYSIWYG styles into components, what do you mean? Turning them into CK editor components or components? And that's
so like paragraph components. And then so like at the moment you've got tables that are a paragraph, and you've got link as a paragraph. It's just adding to that roster of options there, rather than doing it through the WYSIWYG, because it just means you can have you'll have more options to have like different switch between different styles. Again, when we're creating subsites, not everyone may want the same look, so if we've got different styles we can apply to some of those components, then all better for it. Oh, that's a surprise.
I know the poll. There we go. The results are FIDI first, and then images a very close second, subsites, and nothing for my magical created teasers, but that's okay.
It just means we'll be unique, so that's fine. I'm happy with that.
There we go.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, I think we're wrapping up. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much. That was really interesting, and thank you, Ryan. I know how tired you are and how much you've been working, all three of you, on this, and congratulations. It's fantastic and really great to see what you want to share as well. That's such a brilliant thing, and interesting to unpick that data a bit more. Maybe we can do it. We can also run a poll on Slack if you want to extend that data set in terms of the polls. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Sorry we run over slightly. Hope you have a lovely evening. Thanks again to our sponsor, Home Connections, and all of our wonderful subscribing councils and suppliers. Hopefully you enjoyed this session, and others, please give us, when I say us, I mean, Ryan, Justine, Rupert, feedback. You'll get an email, and do let us know. That's really helpful for future events. We've got one more day of LocalGov Drupal week. At 12 o'clock, we've got Introduction to Content Migration with Simon from Agile Collective. At 1 o'clock, Will's hosting a conversation with Kate Herr from Cumberland and Ben Unsworth from Essex on why our collaboration works and how it can work for you. So sort of building on the community theme throughout the week. And we'll be finishing off with a show and tell from Southwark Council and Big Blue Door on their LocalGov Drupal journey so far. So a good strong end to the week. See you all very soon. Thank you so much for coming.